Hello and welcome to Round One Boxing. I'm Pete, and today I'm joined by Beccy Ferguson. Becky, you're one of the pro boxers that I sponsor. For those that aren't familiar with you, could you introduce yourself, where you're from, your pro record as we speak now?
Yeah, no problem. I'm Beccy Ferguson. I'm from Shrewsbury. I'm 30 years of age. I've got two children, one little boy called Cass and a little girl called Sienna. They are my everything. And yeah, my pro record, I've only had one fight so far, which I lost. But I think that was due to lack of experience. So I've not really had that many fights, but I'm as game as they come. So yeah.
As you've sort of just touched on your first pro fight, obviously I watched that one. For the other fighters that were on there, obviously it was a points loss, but
Yeah.
Ellie's a bit of a difficult opponent.
Yeah.
She is very tall for her weight. She can tie her shoelaces up without bending down. She's got such long arms
Yeah,
and
I was
such
going to
long
say
reach.
her reach is phenomenal. Like literally, I mean, but again, lack of experience. I just couldn't get near her. But that's due to experience. So I'm more prepared for people like that now.
Is there a reason why you had a white collar past and not an amateur career, or did it just not happen for you to have to go from amateurs into pros?
No, to be honest, I think it only sort of was something that I started doing from about 7 years ago. I started off by doing MMA first, and that was just training. And it just happened that the gym actually closed. So I moved forward into boxing, and then it just went from there really. And it was just in the area that I am, white collar and unlicensed is quite popular. It's quite big, so it was a good opportunity to sort of get my foot through the door that way. And that's where it started really. So yeah, that was it.
And do you think not having an amateur career is going to slow you down in your pro career due to basically, as you said just now, lack of experience, lack of ring knowledge?
Yeah, I mean, I do find that obviously with amateurs they're a lot more technical, and obviously have a lot more fights under their belt than some of white collar people do. However, I train as much as possible, and I give it everything that I have. So, in terms of heart and determination, you don't really get any better than me. So, I know obviously that doesn't always win, but it's a good start, and the technique can be taught. So, it can slow me down a little bit, but I'm not being defeatist on it. That I stand just as good a chance as anybody. So, yeah, amateur career or not, I'm still game for it.
At the end of the day, yeah, you get a lot of people that have had a very short amateur career and have gone on and achieved the ultimate dream is, so, world belts and obviously high success.
Yeah.
You're very much in the same as me, white collar background only. I'm too old now to be an amateur. With your previous fight, obviously, as we've touched over, you lost that on points. What did you take from that fight to move forward into your next fights?
To be fair, with that fight, I was quite nervous because of being in white collar. I was only used to having three rounds, 2 minutes. So for that first debut pro, that was 6 rounds of 2 minutes. So it was like fighting twice. So that was, to be honest, I think that was a big concern of mine, just in regards of my fitness, to see how well I'd actually do in that. So I know that in the first 3 rounds, I kind of didn't really push as far as hard as I could have done, but that was due to worrying that I wasn't going to make it. But with the training that I'm with now and the people that I'm with, and the amount of stuff that I'm doing, it's completely different now. So I've changed an awful lot from that fight, and I've took a lot of learning from that fight as well in regards of cutting the ring off, just being a bit more committed when I'm throwing shots. I mean, again, it's just a lot of experience, but I'm taking every fight, whether it's a win or a loss, every sparring session, every training session, it's just learning. So everything that I'm doing, I'm gaining from. So I'm happy.
Yeah, as I think in a previous interview that Nicola Hopewell had said, you need the losses to change perhaps bad habits or things you need to improve on and move forward. So yeah, obviously, some people get worried about what the records say. They want to be undefeated, whereas you need these losses to move forward.
Yeah, and I also think that the losses that you have, they're against good people, then there's nothing to be ashamed of. Like, I was very proud to have been able to go 6 rounds and lose on points to an amateur champion like Ellie Coulson. And to be able to go the distance and stuff, that's a good loss for me. I was happy with that loss, if anything, because I managed to achieve a lot that day, so that was a proud moment for me. And obviously, yeah, I learned a lot from that loss. So this is what the game's about. You don't always win, so you've got to learn from stuff.
Certainly, as your first pro fight, you did jump in at the deep end with that fight. A lot of people know Ellie's capabilities and her achievements in the ring up to now. So yeah, it was certainly a difficult one for you to step into, but certainly handled yourself very well. And as you said, to lose on points, as you said, you've technically fought twice, and yeah, so it was a very good performance regardless of the outcome. And obviously, still speaking of Ellie, what made you want to work with Chris in Worksop?
To be fair, it was kind of a mutual thing, really. We did actually speak after the show itself, and he just sort of commended me and was sort of, that you did really well. And he sort of said that, I see something in you, to be honest. So I was open to working with him as well, and it kind of went from there, really. He's got a lot of belief in me, which I think is very important for a trainer and a fighter. Is you've got to have a good connection. So I was happy that he saw something in me and saw some potential and thought that he'd be able to help me a little bit, which he has done. So it was a very good move for me, I think.
Yeah, certainly. While doing a bit of research on you recently, looking at footage of you training a couple of years ago to training in 2020, you can see the difference you've made in that time, and seeing you from the summer of 2020 to now, we're obviously spending some time with Chris and the girls up there, you can see the difference straight away.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, my hard work pays off, hopefully, so at least something's happening.
Yes, you do certainly spend a lot of time in the gym.
I do, yeah. I mean, the majority of the time in my gym, it's at Scott Lawton's gym in Stoke at Impact. Where I do spend an awful lot of my time there. Very good gym there, very good coaches. They all help me a lot as well. So to be honest, I've got a very, very good support network of coaches and trainers around me. They're all giving me a lot of their time and stuff, so it's nice.
Certainly in the last week or so, I get quite a lot of questions. Some of them are very random and not even particularly boxing related. But one of the questions that does quite a lot is how do you juggle being a pro boxer and everything that goes with that, and being a mum?
It's not easy, but I've got a very good support network within my family, and the father of my children. We're not together, but he has them from time to time, and so does my mum. So I'm lucky in the sense of I can get to training easily. However, easily it isn't, because Worksop's 2 hours away from me and Stoke is an hour away from me. So whenever I'm training, it's at least an hour or two trip one way and then coming back. So I put in the miles as well in the gym, as well as outside of the gym for it. So which I'd like to give special thanks to them for looking after my little babies. But it's all for them anyway. I know they'll understand. I mean, it's hard because I do spend a lot of time away from them, really, with all my training. But I hope that they will understand that it's not just for me that I'm doing it for. I'm doing it for them too. So
yeah, you're.
It's got to be someone somehow.
You're sort of looking after the future.
That's right.
One of the things that I sort of touched with a couple of people that I speak to is people have very mixed thoughts on white collar boxing, more unlicensed boxing. What are your opinions on, say, like the safety level that some of these promotions have, these shows that sort of just come up every now and again, once a year in a town and then disappear again? Do you certainly think they've improved over the years and it is actually a safe method of boxing for perhaps those that don't want to go pro?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, any sport can be dangerous or or trouble. But I think if you are into something like this, you need to be looking into who you're with, where you're going. Don't just jump into any little show or take anyone's word for anything, because I mean it can be dangerous. I'm very lucky that the coaches I have around me are very supportive on me. They won't just let me just go and do something stupid or be around fights that I know that I'm not going to have a chance of winning. It's all very important things. I mean, anyone can learn to box and anyone can have a go to fight. I'd support anyone that wants to get in the ring. It's a very hard thing to do. So anyone that wants to get in there, fair play to you. But yeah, just make sure that the shows that you do go on are proper shows. I wouldn't want to go on some little show that doesn't ever appear and then all of a sudden just pops up and
yeah. So it's like for me at the moment, I'm part of a white collar league, and I'm supposed to be having 4 fights this year. My first one should be the 1st of May. That's not happening.
No.
I can't do it. We don't think that. We're not going to get the 10-week training camp in beforehand.
Yeah, this is what I mean. It's very vital that that people think that it's just a fight. It's not. They don't see behind the closed doors of all the training, your food programs, your sleeping programs, running, just everything that you need to be doing. It's not just putting some gloves on and stepping in the ring. It's a hell of a lot that goes into it. It is a lifestyle.
It's months and months of years of
I used to be out all the time partying with my friends. I used to be sort of drinking and smoking and stuff. You can't do that in this game. I was very lucky that I met someone called John Edmonds, and he helped me realise a lot of that. Where my mental health wasn't in a very good state either, so the boxing has helped me through a lot of stuff really. I do suffer from anxiety and depression and things, and it's him, Scott, Chris, Giles, they've all changed my life, helped me so much. And I think I'm very lucky to have found something that I enjoy doing, that is a true passion of mine that I can actually pursue. So I'm very lucky. I feel blessed to be doing it. So.
Yeah, and obviously moving forward, COVID has affected boxing around the world, and so certainly hit the UK hard. What was your next scheduled fight within the UK for Bieber?
It was supposed to be, originally it was January, I think. It's then been put forward again, but I think recently tonight there's just been another announcement that.
Yeah, there's been the announcements from Bieber that suspending February.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm hoping, I'd like to say March. I know that the Lionesses all women's event that was supposed to be going ahead. I'm hoping that that's going to be going ahead. So that's an all women's boxing night, which will be very good. I've also got some international ones coming up, but with COVID and stuff, there's just no guarantee. I'm training flat out anyway, so I'm training them regardless. But yeah, I think the 6th of February I was due to fight out in Frankfurt in Germany, but the lockdown's very tight in there. So I've just been speaking to Giles this evening, and I think I'm confirmed that I'm fighting out in Czechoslovakia on the 27th of February. So as long as everything goes ahead, that's mine.
Yeah, the Germans are very, very strict with things related to COVID. But yeah, I was going to ask you whether you thought that would be either postponed or moved to another European country.
It's still on the card, so it's not like it's not going to happen. It's just a case of when it does happen. Like I say, I'm fight ready, so it's just waiting for that phone call that as soon as someone says, right, we can go, I can go. But
you can get your passport and get on that plane.
That's it. I'm off. I'm off.
For the short term, where do you see your career going? Are you hoping to sort of continue staying with Bieber and working sort of assassins promotions and things like the Lionesses? Would you seek out more international bouts?
To be honest, I'm quite open to the future. And I know it sounds a bit cliche, but I don't really try and plan ahead too much because you never know what's going to happen. I'm just happy that I'm going in the right direction. So whether that be with Bieber or whatever it's with, I'm
Yeah,
just happy that I can continue boxing. With if I can just fight, I don't fight for money. I don't fight for anything like that. I fight for the pure love of boxing. I need to box. So wherever the fights may take me on that front is wherever it takes me. Like I say, I have good coaches around me with Scott and with Chris. So it's I don't know what the future holds, but I know the future holds Beccy and it holds boxing. So that's what we're going with.
um, with Chris and his stable up at Xbox, how are you finding working with the likes of Ellie, Holly, and Nicola? Because
Yeah,
they're
well,
both obviously they're all highly talented individuals.
they are indeed. Yeah, I mean, I try and get up there as much as I can, especially for sparring and stuff. And I find that all of those girls, they're just so technically sound in different ways. With Ellie, she's obviously very tall, rangy. Nicola's very fast, in and out, great combinations. Holly's just all round. She's just brilliant. I mean, the great thing for me is because I haven't got as much experience, it's almost like I'm a sponge. I literally can go and I just pick up and learn off all these different people and all this different stuff. So I'm working on technical differences between all three of those will help me
Yeah,
because I'm going to learn to fight against all different types of styles. Do you know what I mean? So I mean, obviously, I'd like to think that they might learn something off me too. So, but for me, it's very beneficial for me. I'm very thankful that you know I can spar with those girls. And it's good because I see and they've said to me as well that you know they see improvements every time I'm going up there. So everything's going in the right direction.
yeah, certainly watching those girls when they're at Chris's, they are certainly very talented. Each
They
have got
are.
their own little skill set, but you certainly do notice some skills that Chris is applying to his girls that I haven't seen any other female
No,
boxers. So I think
he's
that
very good.
will sort of set you apart.
Yeah, that's right. Chris is an unbelievable man. Honestly, he's one of the nicest blokes I've ever met. He'd do anything for anyone as well. He's just truly. I feel very very thankful to have met him. To be honest, so it was a very good move.
Yeah, I certainly agree with you there. That was one reason, obviously, why we wanted to sponsor you is the fact that you had made a decision to move over to Chris's, um, learn learn a bit quicker.
Mm-hmm.
And so obviously Chris is very well respected within the industry, and yeah, we certainly think 2021, touch wood, will be a good year for you.
I'd like to think so. I hope so.
Well, yeah, I'm going to sort of sum up about now. I've sort of spoken to you what I wanted to hear from you and things like that. Um, so when are you next training?
Tomorrow.
Back again
Yep,
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yep, yep. I think. Well, I've had a day off today, so that's my rest day done. So yeah, back to it for the rest of the week. Um, and just carry on training hard, yeah, and just wait for those phone calls that if these fights go ahead, then they go ahead. If not, I just keep progressing until then, and I just can't wait to show people how different I am now compared to what I was. So yeah, big things are coming.
Well, you certainly you can see the improvements in you, and you can certainly see the effort in the gym that you've put in because you certainly appear to have lost a little bit of fat. You seem to have gained muscle, and you certainly are moving quite slick and quite fast.
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, obviously when I weighed like 93 kilos, I think it was last year. Um, I now weigh about 64 now. So 30 kilogram loss in a year. So I'm definitely feeling lighter on my feet. That's one thing for sure. And looking lighter, I guess. But yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's only going to improve from here. So this is just the beginning for me. So yeah.
That's very true. Well, I'm going to wish you the best of luck, and hopefully the international fight will go ahead in Europe, and you can get some victories over there, and then come back and do the Lionesses in Touchwood March,
Definitely.
April, and we can see you back in the ring again.
That would be good, right?
All right, and thanks ever so much for joining me tonight, Beccy.
Thank you. Can I just
And
thank all my friends and family, and also my sponsors, ACB Logistics and Rocks and Hair and Beauty in Shrewsbury, and also you guys, of course, Room One Boxing. And big up to all my friends and family. Love you all.
we also do have, for any family and friends of our, I've got 3 professional fighters that I sponsor and 2 amateur fighters. For anyone who is friends and family of any of our fighters, there will be very shortly a 15 to 20% discount code for you to use.
Good stuff. Thank you.
That's all right. It's not a problem. Well, I shall speak to you later, Beccy.
Take care.
Take
See
care.
you soon.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.